being actively embedded in a highly connected workspace or incubator changes the trajectory or growth opportunities for a business?
Um, we all have a problem with Dubai, which is traffic, right? So we created a platform where we bridge the gap and bring convenience to everybody by bringing all the elements of work, residence, retail experience, lifestyle experience in one place, so that you can spend the entire day here working and then enjoying your time and then going home. And that's basically what Q East and Q West is delivering on experience. In that, one layer down, as a helicopter view, Exceed Space is playing a role of connecting the dots and connecting the entrepreneurs, startups, corporates into a meaningful environment whereby we create content, we create topics, we create conversation through community events that we run here on a regular basis. And these community events are driven through thematic topics, interest of the classes of people, being startups, entrepreneurs, corporates, and even investors. Because we have run together with my team many different community events. I'm reading it from the list because I can't remember which one is which. So, a diverse community events for the last 1 month, for example, despite of, by the way, despite of the geopolitical situation, we're still active here. So ESG and sustainability is one topic. We actually had 3 different events tackling that. And it was a very interesting topic for me because I did it with a partner on the topic of SAF, Sustainable Aviation Fuel. And it was a roundtable discussion, closed door meeting, no media, and no photography. The aim was to discuss the challenges and the obstacles of sustainable aviation fuel in light of the geopolitical situation here in the UAE and GCC. We had it here, and it was an amazing gathering. There were government representative or officials that they wanted to come. Unfortunately, it was clashing with their trips, but they showed interest to come, and we had amazing conversation with some official representative of Euro zone in sustainability that they came here and they participated. So that was really good exercise. And we had actually diverse community in terms of attendees. We had startups because we are bringing innovation to the industry of aviation. We had people who closely work with the policy, policy making and legislation. We had people who are introducing solutions such as Siemens, for example. So these are some of the events that is related to ESG and sustainability. The other one, we had 3 to 4 different women health agenda events. Some of them was from Family Founders Network. And we have upcoming one next 2 weeks or 3 weeks called FEM Empowerment. And then we had also a different community event, which was about students, Saudi University students. They had a field trip to Exceed Space to discover about foundations of entrepreneurship, how these youngsters they can ride the journey of entrepreneurship and what they really need to have skill and scale up in terms of skill sets and knowledge. We created this as a podium for them so that we can also cater different classes of people in terms of their maturity level, in terms of their growth level from the students to working employees to corporates, to SMEs, and so forth. We also had a community event which is related to Dubai Professional Services Group, being one of many business groups registered under Dubai Chamber. And I myself am representing as a board member for the Dubai and TSG. We have a session here talking about crisis management, government economics, and support measures. As we all know, Dubai and UAE has released stimulus packages in the economy, activating certain access to capital or funds to enable SMEs to continue operation in the hard time. The last but not least, customer excellence community. We had CX growth as a driver, focusing on customer excellence and customer excellence award. So we introduce opportunity for businesses to participate in business awards on different topics through these kind of community-based events that they conduct here in our spaces. So these are some of examples of how we engage startups, entrepreneurs, and corporates in different and diverse topics so that they can have a community experience where education, knowledge sharing, listening to investigate expertise, and also participating for widening their network, and not only the UAE but also accessing the nearby countries.
Great, thank you so much. I think this is something that people who are already in the UAE can definitely benefit from. Andrea, I want to ask you, so entering a new market or scaling up operations requires a solid team to back it up, right? Through Cognitive Academy, which you start, you focus on heavily, you focus heavily on training and capability building. How critical is localized talent development in ensuring that expanding businesses don't just enter into a market, but actually successfully scale and sustain themselves? And how do you compare it with the UK market where your headquarters is?
Absolutely, that's a great question. I think it just links with what I was saying before about understanding the space you get yourself into. I think continent by continent, and then by hand, I would need to understand the culture you get yourself into and cover your team as well from that. Now, whether it's us as a business or entering this market, then we do as a service provider in the country, which is not just the AI trainings, but also using the culture. For example, how business here, how business there. That's very important. This connection with the place, with the people, we are a people business, right? Although we leverage technology, we're a service of users of humans, so that matters a lot. I would say, especially here in the UAE, we need to understand the way of the business, and then people will how you say we have certain set of skills. They're absolutely very different from what we want to do. And then develop these resources as well, if that's not it. I think historically London was a London like New York place where everyone always wanted to build, right? So there has been a sort of attraction to natural talents to buy developed more recently. So I think there is still a lot of opportunities, especially for people that are actually not always here, but the aim professional development to actually move to this country. Again, I'm glad you work opportunities here. We are finding ourselves managing programs, internships beyond the academy, the other companies. And maybe invest into understanding the different culture, as you kind of open your minds. For those that are present in the country, and the people that come to the country, don't just rely on experts that you don't bring in. Actually, there is talent here, and there is also actually people want to develop this talent as well. I think it's finding the right balance where, there is best practices that external companies can bring to the market, but it's the European but at the same time, you can't just undermine companies for the fact that there's a lot of local talent that has the local knowledge, which you as the external actually need to approach the market of this. That's what we're trying to do, of course. And that's what we look for when we advise going back to we'll advise anyone when we speak consultants as much to make sure that they are about balance. It's very important. And once that season we'll discuss next year in a very extensive conversation. In general, learning and development is a strategy. Our people don't think that way, our companies don't think that way, which is a one-off, not a strategy, but lines. We deal with the strategy. So you don't take all along. So if your business strategy is farming to the country, you align the talent management and learning and development and staff with the purpose, otherwise you're going to feel that's the thing.
Thank you. That's very interesting. It's not often heard of that learning and development also being part of your business strategy or growth strategy. So thank you so much for that. Rehan, the UAE, as we all know, is rapidly moving towards advanced digital compliance systems, specifically e-invoicing. That's the word right now. It's July 1st starting. So from your experience, how should businesses prepare for this? The shift, and what opportunities does it actually create for a company beyond just legal compliance?
Thank you for bringing that question. Thinking about scaling up is, I also want to tell you that it's not just a UAE that's going to make it. The next market might be because it's only a bill the UAE is in the specific to use by many of our two bureaus. So most bureaus is not Belgium based yet. In terms of what an entrepreneur needs to know, I just quickly run over the laws. So as for the UAE laws, if your revenue is more than 50 million euros, then you have to register with the DSP and the British Service Provider that is registered with the Ministry of Finance by the end of October. And then you go live on the 1st of January. If your revenue is less than 50 million, then you go live at the end of March next year. So you register with the ASP in British Service Provider by March of next year, and you go live in July. And these are for B2B and B2G businesses. B2C sometimes may have to register depending on how you see what you do. Now, that basically means that every transaction from then on is going to be limited, which means that you want to make sure you get yourself to make sure that if you're not person integrate you are doing so if your tax if you tax is by professionals, you divide by the you want to get that correctly. At that point, the transactions are now the opportunity for entrepreneurs is one of the things that we emphasize apart from by information that government looks like is digitizing your operations. So what does that mean? So, for example, there's a lot of fraud. Someone sent an invoice to you by email, and then you can so fraud will drop down. The invoice is coming from but it basically means that you can trust that invoice to be correct. And it's not an invoice that we invite. Late payments. So if you're waiting for payments from your customer, they do not always say, see your invoice. Someone maybe send the invoice, never they get it straight away. There will be then opportunities to automate many things. So within the invoice, there are optional things you can add and mandatory things you can add. In the optional fields, if you all say do logistics and you want to add additional bits of information on the invoice, you can do that and the books make things more efficient. You can even send attachments through So if you're sending delivery notes or sending, documentation, freelance employment. So you find that there's going to be a lot of opportunities to make your business efficient. And it also means that a lot of the issues, because the invoice of global phenomenon, you might have a single from Europe and you don't need to know information. You start to listen to the invoice. Oh wow, you're doing that. Finally, essentially, you're doing that. So I think that will show that you are at a higher level. For this, I mean, I believe that UAs are very technologically advanced as it is, right? But when you are doing business from the outside world, you see the fact that you do that. But then obviously, to finance it, so you invoice finance, invoice and it will save a lot of time to processing. So when you receive the invoice, effectively what the system should be able to capture that information, put it into your management system, now you have to do that as well. So you should be able to find efficiency in the way you process amazing
Very good. Even just like the last time in that short time, you're able to give us so much information, and that's mostly new as well. Thank you. I think this question is to all three of you, if you will answer one by one. So, if business leaders in this room want to future-proof their business expansion and cross-border networking strategy in the coming year, what is the advice that you would give them?
Good question. Going cross border is completely different ballgame because it has a lot of risks that I have seen. I have seen it in different ventures, in different groups of people, the family businesses, which the Dubai Chamber has put a spotlight on how to enable family business in UAE to access the global market, access to the capital. But then to do that, you need to start with corporate governance. You need to start with implementing risk management framework and starting with system planning and so forth. And once you do all these things, then you would look, you would be appealing to be attractive to the global capital and then accessing the global market. With ease, doing business with ease of access to capital, as I believe I can say when you put measures of invoicing, accounting, financial audits, everything, so then you become compliant to the international standards. I think common risk for all SMEs and entrepreneurs would be the unpredictable fluctuation in terms of currency. Until today, I'm hearing issues, challenges from entrepreneurs and startups who I have enabled them for market entry approach in the UAE and the GCC. And I've been advising them, mentoring them that when you operate a business from abroad, doing transactions with clients based in UAE or GCC, you will end up having compliance issues and also banking transactions. And that's because the legacy system says you need to have a local company, you need to have a local bank account, and then you get transactions. Common issues that I always see in startups and entrepreneurs that they start their journey here. They created touch points with through a market entry approach, such as I have helped many of them here. They end up doing transactions, invoicing abroad from UK, from Paris, from France. They get the payment, and then guess what? 20,000 dirham deduction of bank account, bank transaction, and then they wonder why this thing is happening. And the matter of fact, I also understood from Africa, where I was in Ivory Coast, is that when they do transactions to cross-border, they typically are got used to of 7, 8, 10% of deductions. And I'm like, wow, that's so much. Imagine that you are not a corporate, you are an SME, you're a small guy, you're micro SME, and having a charge of 8% and 10%, it's significant. So you always have to look after innovative way of transaction, cross-border transaction, in order for you to reduce these bank charges and something. Of course, nowadays we have more options of virtual IBAN, we have option of cryptocurrencies and so forth, but still there's a lot of family resistance, a lot of family offices. They are still working through banking transaction in the legacy way, and that means going through correspondent banking and so forth, or intermediary banking. And if you don't follow certain algorithm of these intermediary bankings, you will end up absorbing a lot of reductions and fluctuation. So I think these things are very important to take it very serious. And one and the way you introduce yourself to that business and transaction is absolutely different when you are talking to them. So these kind of things, if we are doing traffic outside and do business with the law, you need to really understand culture for the years and the development of this over there and how to talk to them and then to the market and so on. So these are some of risk factors that we should be taking into consideration. I believe seeing entrepreneurs, startups that are trying to providing marketing together, unfortunately, UAE also, and in this countries where business will going and experience businesses and human. So,
That's my experience, yes. So I'm gonna tell experience.
and along with that, your work against the smart men. Number one, number two, actually get there. With plenty of vision, plenty of events, plenty of reason, just get up there. You can definitely find focus on it's not like just like get out there, get to know people, and you third one, which is very close to people, and that's the right people, make sure that all the business behind legit, so it's and then probably better meditation, so sometimes you need to keep it together. It's not the easiest things. But yeah, I would say so. This is a bench, it's a journey. And never ends. But you need to know the journey and go with it, because if you look for destination, trust me, phase, you know, put yourself in the process, not the goal. Thank you.
I'm gonna financial. I think as an entrepreneur and I can see. Those are. Look at where you go. People out. It's those things. Also also funny. See, it's not this kind of people. You know that is right.
People have done it first, and then they could see experience, and it's directly coming from the heart. Yeah, it's amazing talking to all of you. Thank you for your time. We all have taken home a lot of things, not just a few practical advices, but a lot of them. It's time to open the floor to the audience. We are open to not just questions, but if we want to make this a time of introductions and networking as well. So feel free to ask your questions to the panelists or introduce yourself or share your thoughts. I would, if you can raise your hands, I can just pass on the mic.
Hi, thank you everyone for the insights that you guys are giving. I'm Sujit, founder and CEO of AI. We were the winner of GCC. So finally we get to meet. First of all, amazing the setup. But my question is, and I'm looking forward to years, this particular company. For this, I had a question. My experience has been that any business, a fintech office has to be for regulatory aspect. You will see and then cases and so for Gary as well, right now we are focusing on the industries. Healthcare is a focus area. The role, the challenges of someone who is building out cross that barrier of taking your product through the certifications of PHA or Ministry of Health. So what is the right approach to again take like have your product without
So are we talking about the healthcare?
Yeah,
Solution.
healthcare as a specific talk about.
Well, to be honest with you, the way I take this is that the product is always supported by AI. So meaning that it's always it's always robust basic problem, which is whether it's hardware or software, it's a medical device or software. So then AI sits on it, right? So therefore, if that hardware or software is really into the client to write the authority or to Ministry of Health, for example, then you need to go through the algorithm on Google process. And then working it as an AI, that's something additional on it. However, because of the introduction of AI at the local city level or at the UAE national level, every Emirates is introducing its own initiative. So, for example, Dubai, they released something called AI stamp. What's the reason of AI? Yeah, AI seal. So the AI seal is to recognize you from 4 different classification, with A class and S being the top class.
Yeah.
Whereby if you earn that seal, then you are recognized as true AI enabler or AI institution. And that gives the confidence for the government, for example, to accept you because you have fulfilled the checklist to get that seal. And one of those checklists is you have engineer or AI on board, on payroll, and his visa is on your. So these are some of significant steps that you have to do.
Hey, Mahmoud. Any luck there? I think we're moving into the next phase, so we probably need to end the video part. So those of you who have hung on, thank you so much for participating today. Really appreciate it. And the next phase of the meeting is more of a
Introducing innovation
interaction between
and
the people.
disruptive solutions, which the legacy, which is the governance or the government who is in a regulatory body, have not enabled yet absorb this. But through POC and through talking to the government and enabling the POC to become commercialized, some
I need to
government
leave because of another meeting, but
authorities
thank you.
created sandbox environment. So they have a predefined sandbox environment. If they do, you are in good hands because there is a journey and path for the sandbox. So you know where is the exit. And if you fulfill those exit parameters, then you are good to go. They will give you the certificate, they will give you the rubber stamp, and you are recognized commercial, which means you go out in the market and you start selling. But some of them, they are in the process to create that sandbox, and that's why you will be struggling a little bit because they don't have a sandbox, and therefore you're going through a journey, but it's not an end-to-end journey. But you need to have a constant discussion with government and engaging them to reach to that, because one way or another, one party will enable that journey to happen. So it's just a matter of time, and it just requires you to have a constant approach with the government and being recognized and being because they also have certain initiatives that they do, and then you need to be part of it so that they hear you and then they understand you that you have a solution and we onboard you, and that's how you can get it. This is my personal approach or personal understanding of how to approach this phenomena, which is sort of you would like to get out from the POC level, but you can't because they are not recognizing. Exactly. Because the UAE, what is applying, you would notice, is they are applying of do the application and later we will regulate it. So it's not like we're taking the practice of West. They talk about regulation for many years and then they leave the technology adaptation, right? So here's no, let's apply it, okay? And then, okay, yes, we know that the regulator is behind the bus, but they will come front sooner or later, and then they will make it happen.
I saw CPTV changing their and adapting into new regulations very swiftly.
Yeah.
We but the regulations they keep on changing to arrive, and it was based on how the market was evolving.
And the speed of local government is faster than the federal government, as you know. The ministries is little bit, it takes time, and that's why application on local government like Abu Dhabi, Dubai, you would notice that it's much faster to advance.
I can share some experience that we just the regulated by it was a horrible yeah, I think the key takeaway for me when I registered the department to an application if you need a unification as well. But also if you're very well networked, then you will find that there are organizations in the UAE that are willing to support you. So the ministry's job is not to roll out red bucket and then you should register anyhow, because it's national security thing. It's they are responsible for if you get some application, then they are well. But there are also organizations within the UAE that they will try to support. So they may be able to introduce within that initiative. And I think the key thing when you're doing something like this is obviously find those supporters within, government, within organizations that support you. One example is we went for an accelerator, and that accelerator had connections with like governments, and they also had connections with like organizations as well. And they were able to lobby for us or not to support it. And so you have to literally be not so unturned when you're trying to get that application at the federal level. Also, when you meet them for the first time, first impression counts, right? When who you're talking to, they're going to be talking to their boss, and that boss will be talking to the minister. They don't want to just show. They don't want to, promote that this is skin in the game. So you have to really give them a positive impression to make sure that they trust you. Because in the ministry, they have to make sure that the right companies are coming forward, and so it's important for you to be able to create that impression as soon as you meet them. One question here. Yeah. First, thank you very much for very insight. I think the measure is the thing is, we've now talked about the issue. It's very important. Actually, it's giving us opportunities in a way. And the thing is, from the other perspective, the finance cost now is becoming like increased, especially if you deal with their ways. It should be like from the business group, a kind of approach for the method, looking how to make this work as soon as it. Well, it's definitely that they would be